they said it could never happen. They said the West would never actually rise up. They were wrong. Today, political insiders from Ottawa to Washington are scrambling, as 4 provinces, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and British Columbia, appear to be moving in a direction that could change the face of Canada forever. Is this the beginning of a new Western nation? Or is it all a high-stakes warning shot aimed at Ottawa? What we know right now is limited, but what's leaking out is sending shockwaves through the entire country. Because behind closed doors, meetings have been taking place, off the record, away from Parliament, and without Ottawa's blessing. These discussions, reportedly involving senior provincial officials from all 4 provinces, have sparked one question that's now being whispered in the halls of power. Is this the birth of a breakaway alliance, or even a new sovereign state? This is not a drill. And before you dismiss it as political theater, listen to this. Just 36 hours ago, a leaked memo from a Saskatchewan government staffer hinted at a strategic cooperation framework between the Prairie provinces and BC. That memo, though quickly dismissed as speculative, contained 5 explosive words. Post-Confederation governance transition discussions. Think about that for a moment. We're not talking about a pipeline disagreement or another carbon tax protest. We're talking about post-Confederation governance, language that suggests these provinces are at least gaming out a future without Ottawa in control. Now let's rewind for a moment. Why now? Why this sudden shift? It starts, of course, with money. Alberta has long argued that it sends billions more to Ottawa than it receives back. Saskatchewan and Manitoba have quietly echoed that frustration, and BC, while often more moderate, has grown increasingly concerned about its autonomy, especially in energy policy, immigration, and infrastructure funding. Then came the tipping point, Prime Minister Mark Carney's Green Transition Plan, rolled out earlier this year. On paper, it was a bold move to transform Canada's economy and meet international climate targets. But in practice, it's been seen by many in the West as an economic chokehold, one that threatens their energy sectors, their jobs, and their future. Carney, for his part, has doubled down. We are one country, he said in Parliament last week, and that means shared responsibility, shared sacrifice, and shared vision. But for many in Alberta and Saskatchewan, especially under Premiers Danielle Smith and Scott Moe, that statement was the last straw. And now, the West is pushing back. Now to be clear, nothing has been officially confirmed. There has been no formal declaration, no joint press conference, not yet. But the pattern is undeniable. In just the last 2 weeks, Alberta's legislature passed a resolution reaffirming provincial sovereignty over pensions, policing, and tax collection. Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe held a closed-door summit with ministers from Manitoba and BC, no media allowed. And most shocking of all, an unverified document appeared online claiming that a draft charter for a new Western Compact is being circulated between provincial legal teams. If that sounds far-fetched, remember this. Just months ago, Alberta publicly explored leaving the Canada Pension Plan, a move that Ottawa called reckless, but which found surprising public support across multiple provinces. So what if that was just step 1? What if this growing interprovincial unity, is step 2? What if we're watching the slow-motion unraveling of a 157-year-old federation? Insiders say the working title of this alliance is the Western Accord. It wouldn't be a full declaration of independence, at least not yet, but rather a binding economic and political bloc that functions semi-independently of Ottawa's control. Think, shared energy policy. Shared resource revenues. Independent trade deals with U.S. border states. Even a separate immigration strategy, tailored to the West's economic needs, not Ottawa's. One anonymous source from within the Manitoba cabinet called it, quote, the most serious conversation about Western autonomy since the days of the Reform Party. But what does this mean for everyday Canadians? Well, for starters, instability. Markets are already jittery. The loonie dipped half a point after news of the provincial meetings leaked. Federal MPs from Quebec and Ontario are demanding emergency hearings. And Carney's office has reportedly reached out to the premiers in question, with no response so far. Meanwhile, south of the border, rumors are swirling that key U.S. officials have been quietly briefed on the situation. One unconfirmed report suggests a member of Donald Trump's transition team, yes, Trump, the current U.S. president, has reached out to Alberta's office directly. We cannot verify this, but if true, it would mark an unprecedented foreign interest in Canada's internal unity. Some are calling this fear-mongering. Others are calling it inevitable. But make no mistake, something big is happening. Right now, polls across the western provinces are showing a massive spike in support for greater autonomy, even independence. In Alberta, over 52% now support full provincial independence if Ottawa continues down its current path. In Saskatchewan, that number is 49%. And even in BC, long considered more moderate, 37% of voters say they'd be open to joining a Western bloc if economic conditions worsen. This isn't fringe anymore. It's no longer just angry Facebook posts or late-night talk radio. This is real. And unless something changes soon, we may be witnessing the earliest stages of a historic political transformation, one that could make Brexit look tame by comparison. Mark Carney's government has called for unity in the face of division. But as of now, the West is sending a very different message. We're done waiting. The question now is not whether there's discontent. The question is, what comes next? Will this so-called Western Accord become official policy? Will the premiers issue a joint declaration? Will Ottawa fight back, legally, politically, or even economically? Or, will Canada quietly splinter, not with a bang, but with a whisper? One province at a time. We'll be watching.